Good morning, Auburn. What do y'all want to talk about? My name is Howard Zemsky. I got here early, as I always get nervous when I'm doing an event with the governor. I put some coins in the meter, and just as I was walking out, and it's brutal when I embarrass myself in front of the governor, I realize time is running out on my meter. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to run out for a few minutes, unless anyone knows the mayor. It's great to be with all of you. Thank you for being here. I want to make some special acknowledgments before we begin. I want to recognize Assembly members Bill Magnarelli and Gary Finch. Auburn Mayor Mike Quill. Chairman of the Cayuga County Legislature, Pat Mahunik. Members of the Auburn City Council and Cayuga County Legislature. Cayuga County District Attorney John Budelman. Cayuga County Sheriff David Gould. REDC Co-Chair Randy Wolkin. Cayuga Community College President Brian Durant. All of the elected officials, REDC members, and Downtown Revitalization Initiative Committee members joining us today. Thank you all for being here. And of course, we are honored to have Governor Cuomo join us today. I am your upstate cousin. I live 2 hours to the west in beautiful Buffalo, which has undergone a tremendous transformation in recent years, thanks to the governor and the entirely different way that the state now does economic development. And I describe that way as being inclusive, being strategic, being comprehensive, and being collaborative. And I just want to talk about that for 1 minute. We are inclusive because we involve all of you. We don't pretend from Albany or any other single place in the state of New York to know what the best economic plans for your future are. We believe in you, in your plans. We believe in business. We believe in the consumers. We believe in unions. We believe in political leadership. We believe in lay leadership. We believe in the foundations in the community. We believe in all the anchor institutions. You all participate in developing your own strategic plan for the region and for your community. We are strategic in the sense that we invest in your strengths. So if your strengths are in tourism or in heritage or manufacturing or ag, or unmanned aerial systems, your strengths really provide the foundation of the state's investment. We're always trying to double down on what you do well. We're comprehensive because we approach economic development in a number of different ways. It's investing in businesses and all the tradable sectors of the economy that I listed off that are so important to this region. We're comprehensive because we invest in people through workforce development. The governor put in place Excelsior Scholarship Program because he understands that people and education and the workforce are the foundation of the economy. So we invest in people, we invest in skills, and we invest in workforce development in all the relevant industries for your community and your region. We invest in innovation. centers of excellence, centers of advanced technology. We invest in incubators and accelerators because new business is the lifeblood of any economy. And we invest in downtowns because downtowns are such an incredibly important part of retaining young people and recruiting people to your region. Every upstate area for 40 years lost population and lost a disproportionate share of its young population. And with the governor's DRI and with all of our focus on so many projects that we have supported over the years here in Auburn, we are investing in the future of your community, and we are creating a place. And when I talk to businesses all over the state, and I say, what can we do at ESD to be helpful? You know what they say? They say, invest in downtowns. We need to keep our young people. So when you see us investing in Shine's Auburn Theater, when you see us, go on, you could clap for that. When you see us investing in Prison City Brewing, which is increasing production at Nolensville Way. When you see us investing in Auburn Floors and Picarillo buildings, two historic buildings in downtown Auburn. When you see us investing in the Equal Rights Heritage Center. You know, I have been in business my whole life, and I do commercial real estate business before I was transplanted to do economic development here at the state. So I understand the importance of downtowns, and I've been in business my whole life. And in business, there's kind of two types of people. There's kind of short-term investors, and there are long-term investors. And short-term investors you can think of as traders. But if you have a long horizon, you're truly an investor. And in this governor, you have somebody who is planting seeds for the future of upstate and your economy, who is an investor, a long-term investor in you, in your community, in the workforce, in the businesses, in the infrastructure. It doesn't matter if you're talking about airports, roads, bridges, around the state, subways, you name it, infrastructure. Someone who is investing in downtown, investing for the long haul. And that's the difference. You have a governor who continues to plant seeds for the future of your community, and most importantly, believes in you, believes in your plans, and gives you the resources to make a difference. And it is so apparent here in Auburn, in central New York, in all of upstate. I travel all over upstate. The difference in 7 years across this upstate region is indescribable. And invest throughout the state. So with that, and without any further ado, I want to introduce you to the best friend that Auburn, Central New York, and upstate has ever had in the governor's office, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I love Auburn. I hope you don't take it for granted. It is a jewel. It really is a jewel. I'd like to acknowledge Mayor Quill, who's doing a great, great job. Let's give him a round of applause. All the local legislators who are here, my colleagues from state government, Gary Finch and Bill Magnarelli. Bill Magnarelli, let's give them a round of applause. Bill is an extraordinary guy as a legislator. not just for his district, but statewide. And he also has one of the greatest heads of hair in the legislature, Bill Magnarelli. Give him another round of applause for his great head of hair. Howard Zemsky. How much do we love Howard Zemsky? Howard is a brilliant business mind, economic development mind. He's been just a stellar performer for the state. He also, as you can tell, has his own style, his own sense of humor. I got off easy today. Normally he mocks me mercilessly. People say to me when he's mocking me, you know, can't you say something to Howard? I say, no, I can't. He's a self-made man. I only pay him $1 a year. I am powerless. But he is a great friend to me personally, but he has been really a dynamo in economic development who brought a fundamentally different approach, and the results are unbelievable. If I told you we could make the progress in 7 years that we've made in upstate New York, you would say it's impossible to set that goal. Howard Zemsky did it. Let's give him a big round of applause. Let me make a couple of points, and then we'll cut to the chase, as they say. Everything is about, the priority for the state is about jobs. Jobs, jobs, jobs. The economy is the engine that pulls the train. We want to do a lot of other good things, but you need the economy running, you need the jobs, you need the opportunity, you need the revenues. I spent 8 years in Washington during the Clinton administration as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, which is primarily an economic development agency. And Clinton and Gore, Vice President Gore, were very tuned into economic development. We tried all different approaches. We did it all across the country. And I worked literally in every state and hundreds of communities to see what worked and what's the common denominator and what approaches worked. And it works on a macro and a micro level. And it's both a science and an art. The first fact is Auburn, Central New York, you exist within a state. And your economy is not going to defy the state's economy. As goes the state, to a certain extent, is going to go Auburn, Central New York, et cetera. And this state, for many, many years, was just on the decline. Howard says 40 years of decline in upstate New York. Think about that, 40 years. That's multiple generations, but it's true. It was 40 years. And this state had what I call a hangover arrogance. Well, we're New York. Where else are you going to go but New York? You can't leave New York. We're New York. We're the center of the universe. Yeah, maybe at one time that was true. But as time went on, and if you look at a map, you see New York, and then if you look to the west, you see these other shapes. They're called other states. And if you push people enough and business enough, they will leave and they will go to those other states. And that's exactly what we did. High taxes year after year after year. Government was taxing at a higher level than people were earning money. How does that work numerically? It doesn't. Property taxes were going through the roof. And we had this attitude that, well, no one's going to leave. They left. They left, first in a trickle, and then in a full flow. Upstate New York, we ignored. We basically ignored. The legislature was focused on New York City, downstate. Why? That's where they come from. That's the population center. Most of them get elected from there. And human nature and professional conduct is they're there to deliver for their district. And most of the districts were downstate. Upstate had the need, but nobody was paying attention to upstate New York. Gentlemen like Bill Magnarelli and Gary Finch fighting mightily, but they're fighting the whole mass of the conference, which is from a different part of the state. So 40 years of deterioration with no help from Albany. What did you have to do? you had to make a drastic change. Not a small change, a drastic change. And change is hard. Change in our own life is hard, let alone on a macro level. You know, the husband and the wife sitting at the kitchen table. And the husband says to the wife, you know, we need to make changes. And the wife looks at the husband and says, oh, yeah, we need to make changes. Yeah, he's talking about her making changes, and she's talking about him making changes. Drastic change is hard. I had a buddy of mine for many years, smoker, drinker, delightful fella, 100 pounds overweight. Every time I saw him, he was on a diet. Grapefruit diet, paleo diet, oxygen diet, nothing worked. It was the same. One day, he has a heart attack. It was very serious. And the doctors say to him basically, either you change everything or you're not going to be here that long. Well, that put the fear of God into him, and no more smoking and no more drinking, lost 100 pounds, ran marathons. But that change is hard. We basically said to the state legislature when we came in, you are about to have a heart attack. You cannot continue doing what you're doing. We're losing businesses, we're losing people, we need to make a drastic change. And we did. How do you get down taxes? You reduce spending. It's a simple formula. We have reduced spending in the state of New York to the lowest level increases in budget history, under 2% year to year. Now, you look at me and say, well, how can that be? You're a Democrat. You congenitally like to spend money. No, there are Democrats who can count. We have spent year to year under 2% increase, okay? Just to give you an idea, Nelson Rockefeller, year to year, average 11% more every year. 11% more every year. Hugh Carey, 8% more every year. My father, about 6% more every year. George Pataki, Republican conservative, 12 years, somewhere in the neighborhood of 5-6%. We are at 2%. So when you limit spending, now you can cut taxes. And we cut taxes all across the board. Income taxes for, quote unquote, middle class up to $300,000, lowest tax rate since 1947. Think about that. Corporate tax rate, lowest rate since 1968. Manufacturing tax rate, lowest rate since 1917. Because we wanted to say to businesses, we are really serious that it's a different day, and we got it, and we did. And we also did 180 degrees on our focus. We focused on upstate New York. I'm from Queens, New York, which is downstate. I went to the legislature and I said, look, I love downstate, I'm from downstate, but the need is upstate. And at the end of the day, we are one state. And it doesn't matter that New York City, it doesn't matter if New York City's doing well and upstate is hurting. It's one state, it's one family, it's one set of books. Why don't we invest in upstate New York and get that economy running also? We've invested over $36 billion in upstate New York, the greatest investment in upstate New York by any administration in history. Literally not since Governor DeWitt Clinton built the Erie Canal has there been a larger investment in upstate New York. And I'm proud of it. And it is bearing fruit. It is working. It's on the numbers, it is working. State of New York has the highest number of private sector jobs it has ever had, 8 million jobs. Unemployment is down all across the state, every region in the state. Central New York, when we started unemployment, was 8% and change. Today it is 4% in change. So your sense that the economy is coming back and the energy is positive is not just a sense. It is true. It is a fact. It is on the numbers. And, as Howard likes to point out, young people are coming back. Young people are coming back. For so many years, you go to the airport, you'd see young people just getting on a flight to leave. They're now coming back. Why? Because the jobs are coming back, the energy is coming back. And where is it coming back? To downtown areas, which is something which is a different paradigm for me. You know, my generation was, you grew up in an urban environment and then you moved out to a suburban environment and you wanted a home and a patio and a barbecue grill and two-car garage, and that was the model. Not for these young people, the millennials. They want the opposite. They don't want to get in a car and commute. They want to be in downtown. They want to be able to walk to the restaurant. They want to be able to walk to their job. That's what they like. They want a downtown that offers it all. Now, that goes to the second step of the micro, and that is the art form. All right, how do you build a robust downtown environment? That is an art form. How do you take, in your case, the historic benefits you have, Seneca Falls, Harriet Tubman, Seward, how do you put that together with a growing arts class and a growing arts culture and economy? How do you weave it all together to create a vibrant, sustainable downtown? That's hard. And that's an art form. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of discussion and a lot of trial and error. We have the Downtown Revitalization Initiative. And we make it a competition because we want to acknowledge this is hard. And we're going to have a competition. And different downtowns will come together. And you come up with a plan, you submit the plan, and then maybe you win or maybe you lose. Even if you lose, you win because the thought process and the convening is important. Now, we have the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, which has been way oversubscribed. We have 105 applications for 10 winning spots. Frankly, the number of applicants was higher than we anticipated. So the competition is ferocious, right? For every one spot that wins $10 million, you have to beat out 10 other applicants. So we're going to modify the program. So we'll have a first place, which will win $10 million. Second place will win $8 million. Third place, $6 million. Fourth place, $4 million. Fifth place wins a dinner at with Howard Zemsky. You don't want to be in fifth place. And I know everybody wants to win, and everybody wants to be first and win the full $10 million. But the competition was ferocious, right? 105 applications. And that's what you were competing against. And I know that you've competed before, and you were unsuccessful. But I believe those attempts and those exercises actually made your plan better. You sat and you learned and you grow and you see the evolution of your downtown plan. But I need you to appreciate the level of competition. And not everybody can win and be first place, right? I know that's our culture. I have to win. I have to be first. I have to be first. I have to be first. Howard's like that, not me. I'm chill. But Howard is a very kind of competitive, aggressive personality. I'd be fine with fifth. If dinner wasn't with Howard, I would take fifth right now. So the question is, where did you come in? You came in first, and you win $10 million. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mayor Mike Quill.
Let's hear that one more time for the governor. Thank you, Governor Cuomo. This is a great day for Auburn and for the entire region. I want to thank Governor Cuomo for his commitment to locally driven economic developments, including the Regional Economic Development Council and the Downtown Revitalization Initiative. Auburn was excited to apply for the third round of the DRI. The application process gave us the opportunity to engage members from across our community, including property owners, local residents, and interested community members. The theme of our application this year was "This Place Matters." You can see that today, right? Because we believe that our downtown not only has a proud history, but is in many ways the heart of our community. That's why we have invested time and effort into planning to help guide developers and property owners in the right direction to continue our growth. And our efforts have placed downtown Auburn on the verge of great success. Today, the DRI Award will help us build on our progress and achieve lasting impact in the downtown area. And we are grateful to have partners in Governor Cuomo and New York State. So it is my honor to accept the award on behalf of Auburn, and I want to thank everyone who made the day possible, including the Central New York Regional Economic Development Council and my colleagues in Auburn who worked tirelessly to ensure the city will continue to be a great place to call home. Thanks to all of our efforts and the support of Governor Cuomo, Central New York is rising. Now, if we may, we're going to take some pictures with Governor Cuomo.